Okay, Michael, your first memories of Tarbert GAA club growing up as a child in the village?
Well, when we were growing up in the village, the horse park was our playing pitch. That's where the comprehensive school is located at the moment. And it was straight from school, throw the school bags in the hall door, and straight out to the horse park. We trained and practiced and trained, and at that time we found it very hard to get a football. So we used to collect the street for a football. So it was twopence and threepence, and if you did very well, you'd get sixpence. But this particular afternoon we were collecting, and Tom O'Donnell's uncle Pat was home from America, and he came down the street and he asked us what we were doing. We said we were collecting for football. So he gave us a brand new, shiny 10-shilling note. All we had to get with that was a half a crown. And we'd be ready then the following morning. John McGee was driving the bus, and John would, we'd give John the money into Nestles in Limerick. And we'd be waiting, you'd have about 30 young lads in waiting for the bus in the evening coming back. John would get out of the bus and say, "Sorry lads, there was no footballs at Nestles today." And then actually it was after about 5 minutes, he'd bring out the ball, hop the ball, and we're straight out and into the horse park with our football.
That seems amazing now, Michael, looking back on it for youngsters today, to realise that you had to go from Tarbert to Limerick just to get a football.
Yeah, it was, yeah. It was, and that was, as I said, we had a man that was willing and able to bring us the football, like John McGee. He was a footballer himself. But going back to the horse park, I remember there was a big truck of water at the back of the field, and if anyone got hurt, we had no physios. Everyone went back, but all you did was stick your ankle or your leg into the truck of water, and that was your hospital, or that was your physio. I reckon the Paddy Scanlon's ankle was inside in that truck of water more often than anything else anyway. So.
Great memories. Michael, what has the club come to mean to you personally throughout your life? I know there's a lot of talk about 1948. How special a year was that for the club?
Well, that was a very special year for the club because that year Tarbert won the North Kerry Championship. The North Kerry Championship at that time was normally the final would be between Ballydonoghue and Ballylongford, and they arranged it in such a way as that them two teams would be in the final. But that particular year, they drew Ballylongford again Ballydonoghue, and they drew Tarbert. They drew Tarbert against Ballydonoghue and Ballylongford against Ballyduff, and Tarbert and Ballyduff came out. So it was a Tarbert Ballyduff final. We upset the odds altogether. And that year, the team, they tugged out in Hanrahan's Bakery in Ballylongford. That's where they tugged out and marched up to the thing. And I can always remember, it was a fellow by the name of Johnny Sharkey. He built later to you, John, wouldn't you?
Oh, Johnny, I think, yeah, could well be. Yeah.
He was. Johnny Sharkey, trained the team, and he trained them for weeks beforehand. And where the hostel is now, there was a room there, and that's where there used to be. And he'd bring them in after, and he'd row them, and you could find the smell of imbrication all over the town.
But was there big crowds going to the games back then, Michael?
There was huge crowds, nearly all cycling, and they won the minor North Kerry Championship the same year. And John Coleman actually happened to be playing. He played in both teams. He played in goals for the seniors, and he played wing forward for the minors.
Just speaking of John Coleman, he's always spoken about in the village as one of the great players. You saw that from Michael. How good was he?
Oh, John would be in my opinion, he'd be the Tiger Line of later years. You know, John, he was a beautiful footballer, and as accurate. He had a lovely free kick and very accurate. Suffered a bit towards the end of his time with a knee injury, but other than that, like terrible determination. And great accuracy. Yeah,
because there was always talk that he was good enough to play for Kerry.
Oh, he was. He played with Kerry. He played a trial game, but then, you see, John, apparently he was reared with his aunt, and John, she didn't want him to go travelling out to football, but they called for him so much they were going to the Kerry team, and John wouldn't go. I think that finished his career with Kerry anyway. Yeah.
Michael, from all your years involved in the club, what was the greatest day for you personally?
I suppose my greatest memory, or my greatest feat in the club was in 1975. 1975, I was a selector on the county minor team. I was selected in 74 and 75. We were beaten in the Ulster final in 74. When in 75 we won the All Ireland, we beat Tyrone, and we had 2 members of the club. We had Fenton Scannell and Tommy Bridgman on the team that year. So I thought that was one of the great feats of it.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it now, like a Tarbert selector and 2 Tarbert players.
Yeah.
It's not likely to happen in the current era, but you never know.
Oh yeah, and the previous year I was selected as well as the 74, but Ambrose was the captain that year, and we were beaten. We got a bit of a hiding in Killarney. But that would be one of the greatest. Maybe the other one I had, of course, I was a captain myself of the 52 minor team. We won the North Kerry Championship in 1952. 52.
Yeah. Great times. Yeah. Looking ahead to the future, Michael, you see a lot of underage stuff these days. You see a lot of senior football. Where do you see Tarbert in the next 5 or 10 years? Is the future rosy for the club? The
future looks like it's hard to know. If you look down the training pitch at the moment, you'll see quite an amount of underage teams. There seems to be an abundance of young players, and it's hard to appreciate where they're coming from, because like we're cut off from Clare at one side and we're cut off from Limerick at the other. But we seem to be able to keep a supply of players coming. So if all those players that are playing at the moment, if they can continue to play with the club, I see a great future for it. Like we had a junior match there now last week, and they had about 10 subs, I'd say. So in 10 subs of the juniors. At times, maybe during late in the year you'll find yourself slack of players, but I don't know, I can see a future in the club.
Finally, Michael, one of the roles you held in the club for a long time was secretary.
Yeah.
Like a tough job, sometimes a thankless job, but did it give you great enjoyment throughout the years you were doing it?
It did. It was I suppose it was an onerous task at that time, because we used to run a carnival at that time. And like the carnival was a great benefit to the commercial into the town as well. Mm-hmm. And I remember being up till 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning, like as well as we used to run a football tournament with the carnival. You'd be on the football tournament until such a time you'd in all the crowd would go to the market, and then you were trying to count the money. And we had a treasurer, I'd have to Paddy Barrett. And Paddy was meticulous, and I often saw when the carnival money would come up, you'd have the swinging boats and the rocky boats and the rifle range and all these things. And everyone would list in their amount of money, and if you were out 4pence, Paddy would be down on the floor looking for that 4pence. Which
should those days be brought back again, Michael? Those days of tournaments in the summer, like when you'd get Tarbert and you'd get My Van and you'd get Ballylongford, and were people closer together back then than?
Oh, they were, yeah, and I think the tournament should be brought back. But I'd say one of the drawbacks to that would be the county league. You see, you have too many matches. I don't think you'll get teams to play in tournaments now. They have too many commitments. But it would be very good if they could bring them back, because Tarbert tournament was one of the most prestigious tournaments around. You know?
What about will we bring back the Low Road versus the
town league, the parish league? No, I said it's divisive. We had 2 things in the parish here: the town league and the tops of the town. And I think that both of them were divisive.
Both were divisive.
Yeah.
Excellent, Michael. Thanks very much.
Grand out.